Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Sorry I'm publishing this video so late. The reason why is because I did not even know they have a new equipment banner. I didn't know until the day of, so I'm like, uh-oh. Anyways, here I am. These new gear, are they worth summoning? If you are a free-to-play player, I would say no. Usually when it comes to equipment banner, none of the equipment banner are really worth summoning in my opinion. But if you do play PvP and also free-to-play or low spender, this one might be okay to spend summon for. But let's talk about what you should summon here, and let's break down all these gears. The first thing I'm going to talk about is the Unstoppable Knight, which is a sword for infantry and cavalry. This sword is actually really good for some heroes. But for PvE, this sword is so bad. It's not good. It's only good, let's say, if you're doing Timeless Trial. Timeless Trial, you have a very strong DPS that you think you're able to one-shot, then it's good. But you're doing like usual PvE stuff, which you have to fight against bosses. This sword is not good because there's two parts to it. Attack plus 10%, that's good. But if you combine with other sword gives you a different effect. The second part is when initiating battle against an enemy that has 100%. So they have to have 100%, which against bosses are not good because after the first hit, you are not able to get this ever again unless the boss can heal. But yeah, back to saying when you compare to other swords, that gives you other stats, other effects. Those are better because none of the sword requires 100% HP on the opponent. So even if you're using Seal Guardian, maybe Seal Guardian will be better for PvE because that gives you the defense plus 5%. So this one is more for PvP in my opinion. And who can use it? Who can use this well, in my opinion, would be someone like Leon. Leon in PvP, usually after he attacks, he is usually the one initiating. He's the initiator. He will go in. Now he's going to get another 5% on top of the 10%. So that's pretty good, I would say. But if you know that you can run enough space, you probably might use Blue Star. But if you feel like I want to use the sword because of the 10% regardless, sure, I think Leon is good because don't forget that even though you can't trigger the effect, you still get that 10% attack, which is something that Blue Star can't really provide unless you can run the specific amount of space. So Leon, I think, would be a good person who can use this gear. And then now what I'm thinking is Emric. Emric would be really, really good. Emric, if you use him, I use him so much since like season 1. He is like a assassin. He's a sniper. So usually he goes in, even if that person does not have 100% HP, he usually should be able to kill if you gear him properly. So on top of that 100%, if your opponent's 100%, that extra 5% is going to help a lot. So I think Emric is a really good contender with this sword. Who else I think would be good? For now, probably just these two. And this one does not work with AoE. So if you think that this is good for Reen when he uses AoE, probably not. If I really have to say who else can use them, would probably be someone like Ares. If you're using Ares as infantry, this one will be good. Okay, now let's move on to the next gear. Usually I would go sword, armor, helm, and then accessories. So now this armor. This armor here is really good. This armor is a mixture of Aeolus armor and a mixture of bloodline. However, instead of having 30% damage taken for either melee attack or range attack, this one only gives you 20%. However, this doesn't matter if it's melee or range. These both would be considered in here. Chance to reduce damage taken by 20%. So it's really good. You don't have to worry about, because a lot of people are like, oh, I don't even know if I should give my tank a Aeolus or give them a bloodline. Hey, if you have this, you don't have to worry about it. You can just put this on and it's there. That 10% damage taken reduction, I don't know how much, like how big of an impact it'll do. Maybe not a lot when it comes to 10%. However, you have to also notice that it gives you defense and magic defense plus 5%, so you lose that HP percent. So it's still really good because now you get both of your defense and magic defense are beefed up, but you lose some HP. So when you do your enchant, you probably want to focus more on the HP side because you're lacking the HP. And if you're using a Thorn set in PvP, Thorn wants as much HP as possible. Now, I don't know, if you use a Thorn set, if you have a really good set already, like Bloodline for example, and your enchant is so sick, I don't know if you want to go through all that RNG pain and try to enchant another, you know, high quality enchant set for your tank. But yeah, I think this one is really good for tanks. For infantry and stuff, it doesn't really matter. Usually they probably are dead in PvP after they trade a kill, or when it comes to PvE, you probably should have your tank covering your DPS. Okay, now we're gonna look at the helmet one, Glory of the World. This one, okay, can only be used on Mage, Holy, and Demon. So this one here, first, we're not gonna look at the HP plus 10%. So first, we have to understand what's going on with this. So before being forced into battle, heals 10% of HP. So this means before the battle starts, before the battle, heals 10% of HP if the unit is formed of mixed forces. Which means if you are an infantry and using any troops that are not infantry troops, that's a mixed force. If you're an aquatic hero and using like a infantry troops, then that's a mixed force. Okay, so any mixed force before the battle, HP heals by 10%. Blocks fatal strikes caused by fixed damage, which means if any fixed damage that kills you, this will prevent that from happening. So it won't kill you. So there's two effects here. Okay, so the first effect is that you will be able to heal 10% before battle. That's the first one. The second one is you don't die to fixed damage, but that's only trigger one time. Okay, so who would be good in using this? Notice that the HP plus 10%, that's also really good. So if you someone who can use this really well, in my opinion, would be Yulia. Yulia most of the time would be using mixed force, and she can now prevent getting hit by maybe Twilight, but she already Twilight is the only thing that can break her that can deal fixed damage to her, because she has the immunity ring. So aside from Twilight, nothing can deal fixed damage to her. Second person I can think of would be Yusuke. Yusuke, most of us would have Last Right, and he also uses mixed force, and this will help him prevent getting his Last Right break. So he will have his Last Right effect most likely most of the time, even if he has to face against like a Twilight. So those two are good, and then you can probably use it on Liana, Sophia, even Rosencio, because they also use mixed troops. If you have them at mage class and you use Shrine Maiden, this will also prevent them getting killed. But I don't know if it's good enough to replace Tenyo. I would say this one, to me, when it comes to Apex, when it comes to PvP, it's too good. Tenyo is too good. They're a game changer. Those RNG buffs will help you win the game. So I would say, if you don't have Tenyo, some people don't have a lot of Tenyo. Some people have a lot of Tenyo, like myself having like 19 of them, then I probably wouldn't go for this. Unless I feel like every single game I lose because I'm losing my squishy heroes because of fixed damage, because of that, losing the Shrine Maiden effect, losing my Last Right effect, then I definitely wouldn't think about it. I'm like, you know, I need this. So it's really up to you. It's a hard decision. It's like you want it on Tenyo or you want them with the Glory of the World. You choose. Okay, now we're gonna look at the accessory here. This thing is not that great. And It's basically same as Slayer Emblem and Judge Talisman, but instead the effect is increased against a cavalry. When it comes to PvE, it's not very good. There's not many cavalry, and they usually would die to your tank. Your tank most likely would be someone, a Lancer. Might be a Lancer tank, then that's like whatever. But when it comes to PvP, it's also not very good because your tanks are usually also Lancers. But if you have to, let's say you gear on your flyer and the opponent is using most likely, like I said, a Lancer tank, that is not very good. But some people are still using Landius Cavalry as a tank in PvP, then this one is really, really good. Alright guys, thank you for watching. I hope you guys have a better understand in this banner about these gears. I probably would skip. So if you are summoning, good luck to you. Bye bye.